In 1818, Mary Shelley published her groundbreaking novel, Frankenstein, the Modern Prometheus, about a mad young scientist who experiments with creating life. This novel, written by a woman, although originally published anonymously, is often considered one of the first science fiction stories.
It's alive!
In fact, stories of humans obsessed with creating life and then facing the consequences of their creations, whether it be a monster like in Frankenstein, or artificial intelligence or androids, are very common in sci-fi. The fact that a woman wrote such a cornerstone piece of the genre is significant in that historically, sci-fi is a genre driven by and marketed to men, notoriously male-dominated in creators, audiences, and representation. While a hard 2019 statistic for the gender split between the writers of science fiction is a hard one to track down, numbers have been sitting at around a 20 to 30% female, 70 to 80% male split since around the 1950s, with one publishing house revealing that in 2017, only 22% of the writers who submitted science fiction works to them were female. And when it comes to who is directing our sci-fi cinema, we see a similar gender story play out. Of the top grossing 1,200 films from 2007 to 2018, there is a director gender ratio of 34.7 males to 1 female. So if men are largely the ones writing and directing our sci-fi stories, it comes as no surprise that they're also the heroes of the genre as well. In the top 100 grossing films in 2018, only 10% of sci-fi films had a female protagonist. In fact, there's often very few women characters at all in sci-fi cinema. Princess Leia is sometimes colloquially referred to as the only woman in the galaxy.
Occasionally, maybe.
As she's one of only a very small handful of women we ever see in the series of films. In a study which analysed every script in the Star Wars franchise to see how often women were in the movies compared to men and robots, the results were not good. Female characters are so rarely included in the franchise that even the droids get more dialogue.
What?
In A New Hope, C-3PO has 13% of all dialogue, and all of the speaking women combined in the entire film only make up 6%.
Well, I guess you don't know everything about women yet.
And what about the type of woman we see? Even iconic female sci-fi heroes like Leia, Ripley, Sarah Connor, and Dana Scully are all very specific type of women. Young, white, conventionally attractive by Western beauty standards, often sexualized. And a lot of women in the future tend to follow these conventions. In another study of 50 US sci-fi films which all depicted a version of the future, 68% of women shown were in their 20s, 91% of women shown were slim, and 88% were white.
I can see where this is going.
Reading and watching science fiction content spanning from the creation of it until 2019 makes it obvious that science fiction has a problem with women, representing them, writing them, reading them, and watching them on screen. This stuff matters, and for reasons other than just improving gender representation. Science fiction is sometimes referred to as speculative fiction, and that's because people often use it to imagine and speculate about what our future could look like based on past and current events, issues, society, and technologies. While genres like fantasy allow for the creation of the impossible, science fiction is all about the possible, given what we already know. Films like 1997's Gattaca raised questions about eugenics and the ethics of gene manipulation in embryos when this kind of reproductive technology was just becoming possible and being questioned in the real world. The film presents a possible future as a result of these technological advancements. Countless sci-fi texts do this. Rather than trying to predict the future, they explore what might happen if we continue to do something the way we're doing it in the present. This act of imagining a possible future has been referred to as futurology, a kind of science which combines probability with social science and creative thought to predict and plan for the future. Science fiction offers its creators the freedom to create a portrayal of the future, and as a genre, is uniquely positioned to speculate about and explore how women are viewed in this future. Sci-fi gives us the chance to transcend the boundaries of past and present portrayals of women and really explore what the future could look like for us, and how the issues that we face in the present will play out. Hopefully this video has given some background information about the science fiction genre's relationship with women. There aren't as many women as men writing it, less sci-fi women on our screens, and when they are there, they tend to be represented poorly. But all of this aside, many sci-fi texts still make comments on issues affecting women today and use an imagined future to warn or caution us about it. In this series of video essays, I'll be looking at 3 issues that women are facing today: equal representation, reproductive rights, and sexuality, and explore how these issues have been imagined in future texts and what this portrayal could mean for our society.